Welcome to yet another episode of the Keep It or Change Cars podcast. It is proudly brought to you by CHANGECARS, which is the most trusted online car buying platform in the country. You're looking for a car, you're looking for a bike, whatever it is, you'll find it on CHANGECARS. And the nice thing about it is that you will not get scammed. So every dealership that gets on there is vetted and it comes from an OEM. So you don't have anything to worry about. We've got two special guests in studio today. I'll introduce the first one, Patty Taljaard. So Patty, for those of you who don't know, is literally a woman of power in the industry. I respect you, Patty, like a ton of respect.
Thank you.
You're not alone, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. You're just an all-round good person, in my opinion. And I appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
So Mike
Thanks for
does as
having
well.
me. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you both.
So you're from Williams Hunt,
Always.
Fourways,
Yes.
sales manager,
Yes.
encyclopedia when it comes to cars, motoring, basically.
I'll try.
Yeah. We've sat down
I'll try,
before and
yeah.
I've learned a thing or two from you.
You.
Yeah. And then we've also got another special guest/member in studio, Michael Pursuit,
Always
the man
good to be
behind Change Cars.
here. Thank you. Always good to be here.
So he goes by Carpedia. That's the nickname I gave to him on the podcast. Patty, there is nothing he doesn't know about motoring. Ask him what happened in 1976. He'll tell you.
What happened in 1976, Michael?
It was a big change from cross-ply tires to radial ply tires. Yeah. And of course, there was the Soweto riots, but that's separate. We're only talking cars.
Like, how do you store all of that in your brain? She's
Wow,
speechless.
I'm absolutely blown away.
She's speechless.
That
Thank
is
you.
So yeah,
what a
here's Carpedia.
memory, my
Privileged
goodness.
to share this podium with you.
Thank you.
Right. So the first question we have today is from Sean, who's in Bethlehem. Sean has just turned 32. He says, yeah, that's his age. And his question, along with three more questions, are the reason why we have you, Patty, here. So I think you'll be apt to sort of guide Sean and point him in the right direction. Michael as well, but that's why you're here. So Sean feels like there's no one in the motor industry that's giving the right advice for the customer, and they're giving the right advice for the dealership, right? You've seen this?
Of course.
Your thoughts?
I think from the outset, and I think you will agree with me, a salesperson is there to do what his title says, and that is sell. Often, I'm not saying always, often they are upselling stuff that they shouldn't be selling. You're in the industry, you're in the trade. I think you could answer better. How often have you come across your colleagues, whether competition or working with you, selling a customer something that you say, does Mr. or Mrs. need this?
Every day. But on the flip side, there is the NCA, which dictates that it is law that the VAPs have to be offered
Correct.
to the client. If not, we are in breach of that law.
Okay, so for
But-
someone who doesn't know what VAPS is, what is
Value-added
VAPS?
products.
Value-added products.
Products would be your extended service plan, extended warranty, upgrade to maintenance plan, tire and rim warranty, Protexer, whatever value we can add to the transaction, which can benefit the client in the long run, is a value-added product. By law, we have to offer the client the value-added product. And on delivery, whether it's cash, own finance, or finance, the client has to sign a disclaimer that these products have been offered to them.
And not just added to it.
Not just added, have been offered to them and explained to them, and they have chosen to either accept
Or decline.
And that is a legally binding document. Because say now you're in an instance where you burst a tire in a pothole within the first month of having
But my
your
car was
vehicle.
brand new. I didn't expect this.
Correct. Now, there's a product called a tire and rim warranty. Obviously, there are various insurance companies out there that offer various insurance products, and they've got their own terms and conditions. But basically what it boils down to, it's a 3-year plan, and within a certain amount of time, if you've popped a tire, the tire and rim warranty will replace the tire free of charge. And then it's percentage replacement value thereafter. Now, if you look at what some tires cost, and you've got a tire and rim warranty that's cost you, for example, and I'm saying this as an example, not as fact, 3,000 Rand. And you've got popped a tire that costs you, if you're lucky, 4,500 Rand.
Can you relate?
Now,
Of course. But something that's interesting, and sorry to interrupt you, but what Patty said, that it's the law. So your average person goes into a dealership, ready to buy the car, 650,000 Rand, but that 650 becomes 675 with
Because of all
license.
these
Correct. However, he's under the impression that salesman X is trying to upsell.
Correct.
Right here, it's law, it's got to be offered. Remember, you do have the right to decline
You have
it.
the right to decline, but you have to be informed that these options are available to you, because Mr. X has popped his tire. He doesn't have a tire and rim warranty.
Why wasn't it offered to me?
Okay.
Now he turns around and he's at a braai and he said, "Just, you know what happened to me? I popped a tire, cost me 10 grand to replace my tire." Okay, it's very expensive. But, and I had to just make a plan and get the money because I can't drive on my, I've popped the rim and I've the sidewall of the tire, and I've got a repair kit because I don't have a spare wheel, but the repair kit only repairs the tread and not the sidewall, and I had to fork out X amount of money. And another guy says, "But hold on, I've got a tire and rim warranty and that takes care of a large percentage of the cost." And then he turns around and says, "But hold on, why didn't I know about this?" So there's no site like Hindsight.
That is why it's
That
now
is why,
law.
but salespeople are not qualified to offer these products.
Who needs to do that? An FNI?
Your F&I. So anybody NCA accredited can offer you these products because they're insurance products. They fall under the NCA.
And now, when we talk about the word FNI, just as a matter of interest, for a layman, how many people will know what FNI stands for? Yourself, off the top of your head, would you know?
Finance and what? It's
Finance
a
and
finance
insurance.
person. Yes,
Finance
Finance
and
and
insurance.
insurance manager.
100%.
But they're now referred to as business managers. So they are actually bank representatives on a showroom floor that deals with your finance and all aspects of the money side of your transaction. And that then in turn turns a showroom into, or a dealership into, a bank floor, because we have a bank representative on the floor. And that is why we can sign contracts.
You say they're accredited. By accreditation, what is their accreditation?
Well, they study their proverbial behinds off on all aspects of the finance and insurance. And they have to do courses, updates and courses on a regular basis. So they've got to keep up to date, and they've got to earn a certain amount of points for NCA accreditation. And depending on how many points you've earned through your studies, you then either can work under supervision or you can work on your own and do various aspects of finance and insurance.
You know why Carpedia knows everything?
Tell me.
Because I listen. I promise you, I'm learning.
Have you learned?
I love learning. I mean, I think I have a fundamental knowledge of what we're talking about. But the fact that they go study, and the fact that there's regular, what do you call it, updates, that's
Correct.
incredible.
Yeah.
What else
But
does
it's good.
Sean want to know?
It's good. Well, financing is the other one. But then the ultimate question is, do you guys think value added or VAPs is a good thing? Should someone
Well, it depends.
take those things?
It depends entirely on what the value-added product is. There are so many on the market that we have to offer to our clients.
So what would you
Personally,
say is-
because I've been through the experience of popping a sidewall on a tire and no tire and rim warranty, and this actually happened to me over the December period, where we were on our way down to Pietermaritzburg. We had to take the R103 because the N1 was what's that highway to Pietermaritzburg?
N3.
In that highway.
That one, yeah.
That was closed. So
The other N1.
yeah. So we had to take the R103, and that road, those are not potholes. Those are craters.
They sinkholes, yeah.
It's something, and we hit a pothole in the hybrid, and the hybrid has got a repair kit because obviously you've got the lithium battery.
The repair kit is for a puncture, not
puncture.
for a destroyed
Yeah.
tire. You know?
So AA Roadside Assist was there in a flash, and we got flatbedded to the nearest tire was in Warden.
Warden.
And we sat there on the pavement for 5 hours waiting for a tire from Ladysmith.
Wow.
And that is why for me, and it cost us a pretty penny, which was not in the holiday budget.
But
Excuse me very much.
That's where this prepaid protection comes in. But from a VAP's point of view, and there's many. So the tire protection, I fully agree. One of the things, and I don't sit on the fence, Patty. If people don't like my opinion, it's fair enough.
Yeah.
Paint protection. What the hell is paint protection? Your opinion on paint protection?
If you've got a black pearlescent vehicle that looks absolutely magnificent on the showroom floor because it gets wiped and polished every single day, 10 times a day. You drive it out, there's a few little drops of rain, and all it does is just create big splotches of dust. And you see it a mile away. There, I would recommend a paint protection, because what the paint protection does is it actually puts a layer over that metallic pearlescent black paint. All you then need to do is take a hose pipe, wash it down, and wipe it down with a chamois. And it's back to nice and glossy. Personally, other colors, I wouldn't. In my dealership, particularly because of the vehicles arriving from our manufacturer and they're covered in stickers, and we found that removing the stickers does at times tend to damage the paint. We professionally remove stickers with a paint protection
But
afterwards.
right there, and sorry to interrupt, that was my point. The vehicle, you see it on the truck, you've got all that plastic. You pull that plastic off, it's got that wax that comes from the factory. You're getting paint protection for free.
Correct.
Whether you want it or don't want it,
It's
a
there.
choice. Would you like it for free or would you like to pay for it?
Correct.
Tough one. I'm going to
So
take it for
because
free.
we don't have a choice, and
Correct.
that is for me to get the vehicle's showroom
condition.
ready and make sure that whatever sticky stuff is on there has been removed professionally, not by my wash bay ripping it off and ripping half the paint off with it.
If we have not answered Sean's question, we'll try harder next time.
We'll try harder
But I
next
don't
time.
think we can try harder.
So I think, Sean, you've gotten all the answers. If there's anything else that you may need, email us. We'll sort it out. Want SA's leading insurance? Visit changecars.co.za and click on the Discovery logo. All right, so our next question is from Melanie Fourie, who's a single mother of a beautiful young girl of 13, and she lives in Muldersdrift. Now, she didn't give her age, which is fine. So what Melanie would like to know is why, whenever she takes her car into a garage, which is Nissan in this case, does she feel like they're always trying to upsell her service items, right? Now, Melania has added that the car that she bought was new in 2019. And as of the end of March this year, the car only has 26,000 Ks on it. It's a brand new car. So she feels like they're always upselling her service items. Mike, Patty, do you agree?
So I had the pleasure of speaking to Melanie, and I totally understand where she comes from. Cars doing 7,000 kilos a year, which is a quarter to half of low to average mileage. Cars stand in a garage at night. She says the car is running beautifully. She takes it for a service every year. They want to replace her wiper blades. Something small, rubbers on her wiper blades. If that car is doing 25,000 kilometers a year in the sun all day, wiper blades can perish. In her case, they're not. Her battery, this was another example, 4 years old, they told her, ideally, being a lady, she doesn't want to get stuck, should she change her battery after 3 years? My answer, very simply, if it's not giving problems, it's not going to give problems. It doesn't go from nothing to something. It will give you warning signs. Yourself in the industry, do you find that your workshops try and just add a few extra service items in?
No, but they do have to make her aware of what might happen should something go wrong. So they've
It's
got
still
to...
the fear of God in two people. I get it.
No,
I get
not-
it.
Is that what you call
no,
it?
I wouldn't. I wouldn't say that. Clients need to be informed. So if the rubbers, just as an example, and I'm not saying that that is the case here, if the rubbers perish,
Of course.
they don't have to be used, they perish.
So they have a lifespan.
They have a lifespan. Your battery has a lifespan. That's why your factory warranty on the battery is only for 1 year. It has a lifespan. Your brakes have a lifespan. It's all wear and tear items, which are not covered under your service plan. While they are doing the service, they have to check these components and they have to give feedback to the client and say, listen, you've got X amount of kilometers left on your brake pads. Do you want to replace them now? And the client has the choice to accept or decline. Your battery is 3 years old. It only should have a lifespan of about a year, but it's 3 years
A
old.
battery will have a life. I mean, a battery can last up to 8, even 10 years if it's being
100%,
used regularly.
depending on how it's being
Of course,
used.
of course.
We have to inform the client, because if we don't and something goes wrong, the client will come back to the dealership and say, why did you not tell me that this might happen? And then we've got litigation on our case.
Very interesting point, and that's why there's always two sides to a story. If there's one thing I pride myself on, I don't sit on a fence. I'm a consumer and I'm a motor dealer. I service my own cars. When I say I service my own cars, I don't mean I get my hands dirty. I take them to the agent where it should go, Land Rover, Nissan, whatever the case may be. I personally have seen Gugu. I get phoned with stuff that under no circumstances should be discussed. The flip side of that is, I get what you're saying. Imagine young lady takes her car for a service, something goes wrong a week, 2 weeks after service, and she says, now, why didn't these idiots even tell me that this could possibly go wrong? So there's always two sides.
Always two sides.
But would you possibly agree with me that ladies, and again, I do not believe that ladies are the weaker sex. I truly believe they're stronger. But I do believe in the motor industry, ladies do get taken advantage of because of a perceived lack of knowledge. Your feeling?
I got taken advantage of recently. My battery was changed. I replaced the battery myself. Car went in for service and the battery light was still on. So that needed a reset. So what do? It took the new battery out, put another new battery in there.
And we're talking about a brand new battery.
Brand
2
new
weeks,
battery.
3 weeks old?
A few weeks old. So, I mean...
Well, by law, whatever part they remove and replace from your vehicle, you have to get back.
Oh.
Yeah.
By law.
Yeah.
Okay.
So whatever, if they replace your brake pads, they have to give you, when you come to take delivery of your car from the service department, they have to say, here is a box. There's your old brake pads. There's your old wipers. There's your old battery. These are the items we replaced. Do you want them or can we scrap them?
Can I tell you why I'm laughing at you? I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you. Because it's a no-win situation sometimes. I get my car back from a service. Beautifully in plastic, in a box, is all the old stuff, whether it be spark plugs, brake pads, etc. And the first thing that goes through my mind is, can't these idiots just chuck this stuff away?
No.
But there's a reason, and it makes complete sense. Because you're showing me
if
that has been done.
Yeah, if I give you an invoice and say, I've replaced 5 spark plugs on your vehicle, and you're going to say, but why? Where are my spark plugs? I want proof that you actually replaced them and that you're not just charging me and I've still got the old spark plugs in the car. That's why.
But this is what for me is so important, how we are learning. So you got a plastic bag in the car with a little box. Why is it? You just told us it's by law. We've charged you for X. We've delivered X. Otherwise, we charge you for X, and how do you know we've delivered it? Do you think anybody's going to go into the engine and open up spark plugs and say, oh, okay, they've done their job?
No.
So very interesting.
But it's interesting that you guys say that because I've never been offered that. My dad has always taught me to ask for that stuff.
You have been ripped off your whole life.
No.
But then you ask for it and that's why I'm asking the question.
Yeah.
When they replaced your new battery, did you ask for your battery?
Didn't even think of it.
What did they do with your brand new battery?
Exactly.
Now you see.
Sold it to the next guy.
Now you see where my mind is going.
Yeah.
They've replaced a brand new battery with a brand new battery that wasn't in your mind necessary. Where's that brand new battery?
You're going to sell
now,
it to
do
the
you
next guy.
understand the thinking that goes behind all of this? You replace something. Here's your old stuff back.
That's it.
Do you want it? Do you not want it? If you don't want it, we will scrap it. If you do want it, here it is. And Milani is lucky that she is being offered, or that the dealership that she services her car at is actually taking the time to check that all her safety, you can't call it a product, but all her safety features, if you want to call it that, are checked, and she has a report back on them. Because there are a lot of dealerships that don't do that. They do the service and they say, there's your car.
So for me, again, yes, everything about perception. You either perceived you being ripped off, or you understand why something has been done.
Interesting, right?
100%. You go to a restaurant and say, hi guys, just want to check, has anybody here got a nut allergy? The reason I ask you is all our food is prepared with nuts, just to let you know. The chances of them getting it wrong is 0. But if they didn't tell you, the chance of somebody having a nut allergy is real. Milani, glad Patty's here.
Glad Patty's here. You've got a good problem, Milani. For them offering you all these things and telling you you might need to change this or that, it's a good problem. Need advice? Visit changecars.co.za and click on the Keep It or Change Cars tab. Our next question is from Yassine, who's 44 years old, from Polokwane in Limpopo, and he's upset, right? He's got a problem.
Petersburg for our older viewers.
I'm not old enough, so I wouldn't know.
Polokwane for our younger viewers.
Polokwane for our younger viewers. So Yassine feels that he was misled when he bought his Toyota Corolla, which has a service plan currently, but certain items were excluded from that service plan. He says he's purposely not going to say which items were excluded, as he would love to hear from the experts in studio, you guys. What should be excluded, if anything? in your guys' opinion?
So Yasin, I haven't had the pleasure of speaking to, so I don't have the answer that he thinks we have. Very, very simple. I will guarantee you one of the things that are excluded is the brakes. Anyone who owns a car will know every service, possibly, or every second service, you will need to replace your brakes. On a service plan, brakes are specifically excluded. We will talk about the differences between a service and maintenance plan, but I will guarantee you what has upset Yasin is he took his car in for a service, they needed to do brakes,
You had to pay for them.
there's extra. He might have a diesel. Believe it or not, a diesel filter is not included in the service plan on certain Toyotas. Wiper
Why?
blades is a serviceable item, but it's a wear and tear item. So this is where we'll come into wear and tear maintenance service.
So would you say wiper blades are not included?
So wiper blades are guaranteed not included on a service plan.
No, they're not. It's a wear and tear item.
Wear and tear item.
Yeah. So your motor plan or maintenance plan would cover that.
Oh, I
So
see.
But
I
then
had-
also you would need to, if you're upgrading to a maintenance plan, you would also need to read the terms and conditions.
Of course.
Because very many maintenance plans only replace brakes at 30,000, not at 15,000.
And that's to stop abuse. But in this particular case, so let's just put Yasin's mind at ease. Firstly, Toyota is as good a company as you'll get anywhere in the world, especially in South
Correct.
Africa.
Correct.
They have done nothing whatsoever wrong. There was no promises made that haven't been kept. There was nothing misled. Toyota, having said that, are one of the few manufacturers that offer a service plan as standard on the vast majority of their products as opposed to a maintenance plan. If you took BMW with their maintenance plan, Audi with their freeway plan, those are full maintenance plans that are far better in terms of covering servicing needs.
Okay, can we just very briefly the difference between a service and a maintenance plan for someone listening who doesn't know?
Google controls us for a reason because he's in control. We just all over.
Your service plan covers your basic services. And depending on whether it's a minor or a major service, it will cover your oil filter, oil replacement, fluid replacement, pollen filter, aircon filter, and flat rate labor. That's it.
That's a service plan.
That's your service plan.
Okay, maintenance plan?
Maintenance plan will cover your wear and tear items, brake
Brakes.
pads, shock absorbers, windshield wipers, anything that you need to replace because it's a machine. There's wear and tear. If you need to replace anything that needs replacing as a result of wear and tear,
Correct.
that will fall under the maintenance plan. Your warranty will replace or take care of whatever malfunctions as a result of manufacturer error. And that's where your gearboxes and clutches and things like that come in on condition it's not driver abuse. And believe me, we can pick it up.
Of course.
Wow.
So if you let's look at two premier brands, Audi and BMW. The maintenance plan for BMW and the freeway plan for Audi. 5 years, 100,000 kilometers on both. On Audi, you can extend it to 10 years and 300,000. But let's look at the 5 year, 100,000. Within that 5 years on a maintenance plan, if you service your car to BMW agent or an RMI, which you'd have to be an idiot to go to an RMI when you can do it at BMW.
BMW?
But if you're doing it regular servicing, anything that breaks in that 5 years will be covered by the maintenance plan. What you're referring to, and I think it's important to know, is you can buy aftermarket maintenance plans. That falls outside of the manufacturer's terms and conditions, but certain things are in line with. Read it very carefully.
You've got to.
So I've had
Yeah.
a 5-year maintenance plan with BMW. Everything's been covered. Now they give me a quote to extend it. I'm just using a thumbsuck figure, 60,000 Rand. Oh my word, too expensive. What do? I go to an aftermarket company, 35,000 Rand. Wow, much more palatable. There's a reason.
There is a reason.
Would you agree on that?
I absolutely agree.
And you know what? A lot of
Absolutely.
people do just take them blindly. And when something goes wrong, you find out they don't cover that, they don't cover that, they don't cover that, or they only cover a percentage. Am I correct?
Of course. So I'll give you an example. And this happened last week. Client phones in. We've got an advice line called Keep It or Change Cars. They just wanted advice. They can get a service plan for 185 Rand per month. Okay, 185 Rand per month. Now, you don't have to be a mathematician to work out that's 2,200 Rand. You can do nothing but change your oil and your oil filter with anything but superior grade oil. What is it going to cover? Don't be in for a surprise when your service costs 8,000 Rand and you've paid 2,000 Rand for the year and they're only covering 2,000 Rand worth of items. Are you seeing that yourself as well?
I actually experienced that when I had my own car because I was financed through the bank. One of the bank insurance companies phoned me and said, listen, do you want to upgrade to a maintenance plan? I said, okay, I'm listening. Yeah, we will cover your brakes. And there was a few other items. I said 100%, and this will cost me how much? They gave me a figure per month. I did the calculation over 72 months. I said, wow. So you're telling me my brakes are going to cost me, I can't remember the figures, but let's say offhand 10,000 Rand. I said, I've just replaced my brakes for 1.5. So yes, there are companies, and I don't know where they get your number from. I don't know, because with the Poppy Act, dealers do not.
You're popular, Patty. Just remember
they
that.
do not. No, this has nothing. This is like, whoa. And I just thought to myself, this is not an option.
The numbers don't make sense.
The numbers don't make sense.
But the numbers, talking about the numbers.
And what they offer doesn't make sense. And that is the difference between a used car and a new car. A new car, all these plans are super cheap, because it's taking into account the part of the service plan that's standard on the vehicle. It's taking into account that it's a brand new car. What could go wrong? It's taking all of those factors into account. As soon as you've got a pre-owned or a used car, they take into effect, when was it registered? What mileage have you done on the car? Now, okay, it's this car. So at this mileage, your services are going to cost you this. Your parts replacement is going to cost you this. Your labor is going to cost you this. And wabba, your price goes up. So it is imperative. Look, we cannot advise clients on what to do and what not to do.
But you can guide them. You can give them good advice.
Them. No, we cannot
then
advise.
Then they need to phone Keep It or Change Cars.
There are legal implications. You cannot tell a client what to do or advise a client what to do. All I can speak from is what I would do. And I would, if I was buying a new car that only had a service plan, I would definitely look at a maintenance plan or a motor plan. But also then bear in mind, what mileage do you do? Do you do 20,000 a year? Because now you're above average, because the average mileage a year is 15,000. When looking at a maintenance plan, look at the mileage you put on, how often a year do you service your car, and what is it going to cost to replace your brakes, etc., as opposed to the maintenance plan. And can you then rather have money in a kitty that you can rip out if and when you need it?
Okay. Interesting. One thing that's guaranteed, you are going to service your car every year. That's just annual
Correct.
service. But the mileage is so key. If you're doing 10,000 kilos a year, that's low. You're going to replace your brakes every 2 years, 3 years possibly. But without a doubt, if you can upgrade your service plan to a maintenance plan, do it. It gives you that peace of mind, all-encompassing, brilliant. But Yasin, you've not been...
You're not being ripped off.
You're not being ripped off. Toyota
That's why we have
looking
these
after you.
geniuses in studio, right? Change Cars proudly endorses Absa Vehicle Finance for your dream car. All right, so we've got our final question in, and it comes from a guy named Simpiwe, who's from the Northern Cape. Is there a name for the Northern Cape that I don't know about?
Yeah, so one of the 9 provinces, but we call it the Northern Cape.
Okay, good.
Or the Northern Cape.
The Northern Cape. Okay, good. So he says it's from a town called KATU, and says
KATU.
that... Is it KATU?
Yeah.
KATU, tomato. And he says in many ways the town is like Timbuktu. Literally everything's boring, nothing ever happens there. So what Simpiwe would like to know from you guys, us, is whether it's critical for him to service his 9-year-old car, which is a Corolla Quest, at the agent, since the car is out of warranty. It's not convenient for him to drive to the nearest dealership, which is 50 k's away from him. So how does he play this? Is it critical?
So this is interesting. If you take it for Simpiwe specifically, being a Toyota, definitely not critical. Reliable
Runs and
car,
keeps running.
parts easily available. Everybody can work on a Toyota. If he said to me this was a Renault, I must be honest, I'll give him a different answer. But in this particular case, I think the nearest dealership to KATU, do you know where KATU is as a matter of interest?
Absolutely no idea.
So KATU's a mining town.
Timbuktu.
They do iron and ore. There's a place called Sishen. I mean, I've been to KATU. It's not quite as boring as he said. There are bookstores in there, but they call them cafes. The nearest Toyota dealer is Kuruman. Lovely dealership, but it's 100 kilometers there and back. Toyota personally service it in KATU. Guaranteed there'll be a local service
Who
person.
has parts spares?
Yourself, what would you have said?
I would absolutely agree. There's no necessity to go to or to drive the 50 kilometers to the Toyota
agent.
dealership because he is driving a Toyota. As you said, they don't break. Parts are readily available. If you can find a good technician in an RMI workshop close to him, he's quite safe.
Now, for our listeners, RMI. Percy, do you know what RMI stands for?
No. Do you know?
I do. And I
tell
won't
us.
pretend to have known it for a long time. I learned it very recently,
Yeah.
like today.
Today.
Retail Motor Industry Organization.
Okay.
It's essentially a body within the industry that regulates who can and can't, meaning a garage to be approved by the RMI organization needs to be of a very high standard, similar to what the agents will deliver. Let's break it up into two different components. Simply where it takes to an RMI approved garage, you are going to get magnificent service, it's more convenient, etc. However, people often ask now, can I take my car, which is under service plan and guarantee, to an RMI dealership? Yes, you can, but there are certain gray areas. Our answer to you is, with all due respect, why would you want to take it to a non-agent when for the same price, because it's being covered, you can take it to the agent? Your feeling on that gray area?
I agree with you. If you've got a service plan and a warranty on your vehicle, stick with your manufacturer, stick with your manufacturer approved dealerships that actually
Of course.
have the name of the manufacturer branded on them. If you're out of warranty and you're
Totally
out of
different.
service plan, totally different story. I know that the whole right to repair, everybody's still arguing about the fine print, etc. It is not advisable. I would not advise that if you're under service plan, motor plan from that's part of the car,
Sure.
that you take it to an RMI workshop. Stick with your manufacturer. When the plans are finished, then you can make up your mind.
Well, Simpira, ultimately, you are out of warranty, so you're more than welcome to take it to an RMI-approved place. And like Michael and Patty said, the guys are good, right?
Especially in the smaller
In a small
towns.
town, you'll get good service. Looking to buy a new or used car? Visit changecars.co.za. Right now, before we go, we've got some good news to share.
I think it's a very exciting news.
Very exciting time. So, Change Cars is forever growing, and we're going to have a new writer on the site. Patty, are you excited?
I'm so excited.
You're the new writer. So, we've created a new portal for you. It's called Patty's Column.
Such an amazing opportunity.
What an
Thank
apt
you.
name. Patty's Column.
Patty's
Yes.
Column. And after the wisdom you've shared today and the knowledge you've shared, I think people will want to read what you've written
I do
on
hope
the site.
so, yeah.
Right? So,
hope so.
anyone interested in reading Patty's articles, my articles, I think hers are way more informative than mine. Head over to changecars.co.za, click on the blogs tab, and you'll find everything, including Patty's column.
Awesome. Very exciting. Thank you, guys.
Patty, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being here and sharing what you've shared. I've learned a lot today. Michael, as always, you are Carpedia for a reason. And you, the listener or viewer, if you're looking for any car-related advice, motoring-related advice, be it car buying, bike buying, insurance, financing, you know the people to go to. The other thing I want to share with you is that Change Cars has added a new tab on the website. It's called Leisure, right? Self-explanatory. So if you're looking for a boat, jet ski, caravan, get onto changecars.co.za, click on the Leisure tab, and you'll find it all there. If you want to get a hold of us, it's podcast@changecars.co.za. Myself and the team will help you out. For South Africa's best motoring content, catch all things motoring on DSTV channel 189 and on YouTube. New episodes every week.